Yeah, politics and stuff. Yeah, but this whole system thing, and again, I'm dropping the ball here. I know because I've got so many things in my brain, and I'm just, I'm just, I gotta start picking and choosing, and I really hate to give up on some things to work on others. But I mean, I'm doing everything half-ass, and it's not really going to work that way. Whatever. It's about the struggle to, I don't know, explain to people why it doesn't make much sense to get into a room and type, "What is this room about?" I mean, it really will show itself for what it is when it gets to it. But how the fuck could you really go into any room and answer that question? Oh, what's the room about? Well, do you mean like what's the room about through the whole night, or do you mean in the last 5 minutes or in the last 10 minutes? And can't you like listen for 5 minutes and then you can figure out what the room is about? But no, instead you gotta type stupid shit.
Celebration. Gary, you've heard this before. It seems to me as if your highest value is the removal of suffering. Then the greatest thing that we could do would be the instantaneous or quickest destruction of the population of Earth. Does that not follow if the removal of suffering is the highest value?
Yes, I've made videos pointing out that very thing, that is the rational conclusion, yes. Alright? Obviously, the human race is not going to be rational. So as the pragmatic reality, I've got to accept the fact that the human race ain't going to go for it. Okay? It might happen by accident, so that'll be a good thing. But, the odds are the human race isn't going to vote one day to blow the Earth to a million little pieces. So we're stuck here with human beings, and while human beings are here, they can still reduce the amount of suffering they impose on each other and onto other sentient creatures, and that would be a good thing. But yes, logically, the right thing to do is just quit playing the stupid consumption and reproduction game because it was invented by a dumb, idiotic, crude, stupid force.
Now,
But we can create a lot of meaning and purpose. A lot more than animals have, at least.
I don't know if you can really.
They have plenty of meaning and purpose, okay? Their purpose is to feel good and not to feel shitty, okay? They got lots of fucking purpose, just as much fucking purpose as we got. They got just as much capacity to know what fear and harm and horror and terror and all those emotions. They're living emotionally rich lives. There's nothing de minimis about that. So there's no point in marginalizing that. And the only sophisticated thing we're doing is, figuring out, well, butt plugs. I mean, let's electrify the butt plug. I mean, we're just playing little games with our technology to make ourselves look like we're doing something sophisticated when we're just jerking off. So let's not pretend we're doing something elaborate and sophisticated, because we're not. We're just jerking off.
Well, Gary, you personally, do you feel that your continued existence is a matter of choice, or do you feel like you're compelled to continue to live?
Well, whatever. I'm alive because I feel like I still have a purpose. And as soon as I see absolutely no hope of anything productive coming out of my existence, well, then I'll probably get the fuck out of here. But obviously getting out of here isn't as simple as just saying, I'm going to get out of here. So I shall snap my fingers 3 times and say, I want to go home, and I'll poof and disappear. No, it doesn't happen that way. You have to physically kill your body, which is not always a simple matter. And I don't want to get into a whole discussion of what my motives are, because it has nothing to do with the philosophical conversation. And it still doesn't change anything about the fact that we don't have to breed more humans at minimum. Look, you all want to live out your little jerk-off lives and go to Disney World? Fine. Just don't impose it on another generation. Don't keep throwing them on your rickety bullshit, imperfect, sloppy roller coaster and say you're doing the right thing, because you're not doing the right thing.
Yeah, I understand your position, I think. I have 2 children of my own, and I've often thought the very same thing. I've often thought, what crime have I committed in bringing these 2 children in the world who didn't ask to be existed? I dead.
Yeah, well, it's a hell of an obligation, that's for sure. I don't know what happened to your mic, but you're really fucked up. But anyway, yeah, yeah, you've stepped into a big pile of shit because you're responsible for every fucking thing they feel. Everything that happens to them, you created. And that's a hell of a responsibility. So, yeah, some lament might be appropriate. But, yeah, obviously you're going to have to stay strong because now that you created the problem, you've got to take care of it. You got to clean it up. You know?
You're responsible for creating your kids' situation?
Well, I'm responsible at minimum for their existence. I mean, obviously, right?
Yeah, but that's pretty mere, you know, that's just existence. So situation is beyond our individual control, right?
Oh, please, it's beyond our control. We can't help but have kids. No, I don't know what a condom is. I live in the 20th century, but I don't know what a condom is. I mean, come on.
You would not be here. So it is not possible for you to be here and us to not have kids. End of argument. QED.
Well, I know there's no end of any argument. I'm here by my parents' own admission, by a mistake, okay? If they could relive their lives, I've gotten them both to admit it, that they wouldn't have had fucking kids. Alright? So it's a mistake made out of ignorance and stupidity, and they've admitted the ignorance and stupidity. So you lose on that argument, Pyro.
No, I don't, because you could not be here wondering if we should have kids if we didn't already decide to have them.
Oh, I'm stating quite explicitly that you're a motherfucking son of a bitch if you think you have the right to impose life. It's like imposing death. It's the most important, biggest fucking decision. You're responsible for every fucking thing that that child brings to this fucking world. Okay, it's your fault. It exists. Yes, it is. It is nothing automatic. It's not required of your existence for you to reproduce because you have a brain capable of understanding that it's a crude fucking force and you can manipulate it. You can control it.
My argument that I did not impose life is that life was already pre-existing. I did not create life from the beginning.
I'm sorry, that is just a fucking bullshit rationalization. You, in fact, your fucking body, your brain, you made it happen through your conditioning, through your control mechanisms. Your robotic little programmed machine decided it was doing something of purpose, okay, and it was wrong.
No, I didn't think it was of purpose.
Well, I'm just saying, to do the most important thing in the world without a purpose is just like saying if I go out and just kill somebody for no good goddamn reason whatsoever. What the fuck sense does that make?
How can you call it the most important thing ever when you think that the answer should simply be one? How is that an important decision when there's only one right answer?
You're creating need. You're creating need in the universe, and you don't think that's an important reality. You're creating vulnerability. You're creating the possibility of consequence. It's got to be important, Pyro. It's what does perpetuate this crap. This crap would not be perpetuated if it was not for people like you who are willing to impose life.
And we'd all be dead. That's the only thing.
No, we would all not exist. We would not exist. So fucking what? You know how many billions of human beings there have been? What, do I think I'm that fucking important? That if I don't exist, the whole universe would collapse on itself? Bull fucking shit. So what if I never existed? So the fuck what? If none of you other assholes existed to make a mess, then I wouldn't have to exist to clean up your fucking mess.
Here's a little question, because there's this cheap, sort of cheesy British sci-fi thing, but in it, there ends up being these time portals, and one woman goes back in time to poison humankind. I forget if it's 1 million years ago or 500,000 or 300,000, but it's proto-humans when they were supposedly located in a particular area, and she kills them. The idea is so that there would never be man on Earth.
Yeah, fine. So what? Homer Simpson built a toaster and went back in time and made his wife a lizard woman. Yeah, so fucking what? Okay, what are you talking about?
I'm asking you if you think that we would be better off